Hello again. This is the Watering Man, Spiritual Toolbox number 355. John chapter 3, recording number 202. Audio recording number 673 and examination table number 330. Excuse me. Okay, we'll be continuing in John chapter 3, verse 36, okay? I'll start out reading it from the King James Version. He that believeth on the Son hath everlasting life, and he that believeth not the Son shall not see life, but the wrath of God abideth on him. Okay, let's break this down, examine it, document it. Not just swallow it like a pig, like an old unclean animal. That's good enough. Nope. No, it's not. Huh? If it is, you'll stay at whatever lightweight, rudimentary, elementary principle. Huh? You won't go on. Huh? If God permit, you'll go on. Huh? Meaning you'll regurgitate that thing like a clean animal. Suck its stomach like a clean animal does, and regurgitates it, rethinks about it, meditates, studies it, thinks about it. Not just memorize it and what. No. Remember, the letter of the law kills, but the spirit of the law gives life. Huh? That fullness of life in God. God gives it. God increases you whenever you qualify. Green light, okay? Now, let's see. Now, we were down, all the way down to, okay, we covered he that's ha, believeth, pistuo, on was into, was ice, to and into, okay, and then ha again, and then Leos, mature son, right? Then we were in Echo, 2192, hath. They translate as hath, okay? And it hath, and then life after it, okay? So hath, this word right here.
Strong's G, 2192, echo.
Okay, I wasn't done with that word, not by a long shot, okay? So that word is a verb, means to have, to hold, such as possession, ability, continuity, relation, or condition. I'll break those words down in just a minute because they're showing us stuff. Okay? Not just have it and go deeper. Okay, we'll get there. Hang on. In the Thayer's Greek lexicon, it says, in the sense of wearing garments. Whenever God's taking this ball of thinking and He's purifying it little by little by little, as we green light God, qualify, green light in hot pursuit, emphatically coming on up higher into God, into His superior way of thinking. We're increasing in that ability, in the ability to racham, God's chav. Okay? His love beyond the mere description of words, we're gaining the ability to love that way, little by little by little, in each and every ball of our thinking, that little muddy ball. Okay, it's becoming less and less and less muddy. The mud is leaving, that carnality, that non-spiritual is leaving, and it's turning into a holy, purified state of existence. Back E-N and S-Y God, that's where it's heading. And before that, you got to come from all this stuff, to and into, and then back in. That's why there's a few more words in there. Pros, coming from the pro way, from the superior way. Okay, I covered this stuff before. Now, excuse me. Peppermint tea helps a little bit. All right, now, okay, so we're putting on the wedding garments. the righteousness of God, right? Becoming purified little by little by little. You can't get to that marriage supper of the Lamb, become the bride of Christ, come back in and S-Y-N. Rest and relying on God and in union with God in that. Just that singular thought process. Unless you do that way. It's a long road, way up that spiraling staircase, right back into the pipeline, back into that eye of the needle, all the way back to the Father. All from this radio wave, all the way through all this microwave, infrared waves, the visible light spectrum, the ultraviolet rays, the X-rays, the gamma rays, and then all the way back into the cosmic, marrying God in this, like at the gamma rays. Right? The difference between the X-ray and the gamma ray is where it originates in the natural, in the atom. The X-ray originates outside the nucleus of the atom. The X-ray out here, like in the electron clouds and stuff. Okay, exterior to that nucleus, to drawing near to God. En and S-Y in God. That's where, like in Egypt, in type of that worldly thinking, all those plagues going on, and back when God was having Moses give them a message, and God was delivering his people from Egypt, from the worldly thinking. What's he doing now? Same thing. God's the same yesterday, today, and forever. I, the Lord, change not. Take you to this point where it's parting your red, Adamic, carnal sea, so you can walk, live, exist on dry land across there. And all that nasty stuff, the Egyptians and the Pharaoh stuff chasing you, crash in, can't do it. God's your protection, your refuge. All right, that's a little brief overview. Okay, there's much more on that. Okay, now, so you're wearing this, the garments, putting on the garments to go back to the marriage supper of the Lamb. Marrying Christ. All right, now, in this echo, okay, to have to hold, such as possession, ability, continuity, relation, and condition. In possession, that's the control over oneself, one's mind, etc. That's driving out that former inhabitants, that old carnal thinking, your old righteousness, relying on your own knowledge of good and evil. Beat it, you dog! That's the beast nature. Don't quit relying on that 666 in your mind and in your hand, in your works, in your efforts. Drive it out and possess that land with the rightful mindedness, with the right thinking of God, with the right mindedness of God, right? Come on up higher to my way. God gives us an increase in that ability to love as he loves. See it, be reasonable, say my way, my child. Quit eating that hog slop. It's not good for you. If you choose that way, you shall surely die. You shall be separated. You can't come in here with that. You're part of that old Pharisee and his army back there that's going to get crushed. And that worldly thinking, all that sea come crashing down. No, be reasonable stuff, and here I'll take you. You can walk, exist, right on that dry ground, right through that Red Sea, the parting of the Red Sea. Like God's blowing. And the storms of your life, they can't go through it. They can't handle the truth of God. See, that faith, that seed of faith is coming back to the truth of God, to the truthfulness of God. And then you can, I'm going to hold my beer while I walk through this thing. Try down there, walk up this wall right here. Man, God's removing little bits of that 666. giving up on it, becoming a widow to that old way of thinking, reliance upon your own mind, your own stinking menstruous rags, your own dung poop thinking. All right? The heart of man is desperately wicked and evil above all things, right? That heart, that mind, that thought process, that yuck, spit that junk out, vomit it. Not just spit. Vomit it out, spew that. Get that stuff out emphatically. That stuff making me sicker than a dog. About making me go bow, wow, wow. Or hee-haw, hee-haw, hee-haw. It's turning me into an ass. I don't look like an ass. But you're sure acting like an ass. There's a lot of people looks like that are their actions are saying they're an ass. They're a donkey. Quit being a donkey in your thinking. It don't matter if it's good or bad. It's not God. It's not the right garments of God. Drive that stuff out and possess the land. Right? Remember this possession right here. Let me find it here. It's control over oneself, one's mind, etc. God's taking control. The rightful king. Not that old carnal stinking thinking. Okay? Now, so to have to hold, like grasping after the hand, grasping in the hollow of the hand. Couple it, adhere to it, possess that land. Like that military term. Drive it out, right? Occupy the land in its place. Like, drive that old out, two in your earth. One must be taken. That old stuff gotta hit the road, right? That old trickster, hill grabber, that old thing trying to trip you up in your lifestyle, in your thinking process, here and in your hand. But where's it start? In your mind. Hey, God, remove that. Agree. Exist. Back into God, okay? Beat that good enough for you? Now, it's up to you. Beat it up. Beat that crap out. Because everybody's got to work out their own salvation. Their own deliverance from this thing. Not fear and trembling, but respect, honor, adoration. Make God true. Acknowledge God is the truth. And all my stinking thinking is bullcrap. Come back to me, my child. Okay? That's possession. To have, to hold. That possession. Now the ability. You're gaining what? Not more ability in your own poop thinking. If you do, it's oh no, going down the drain. Looks good to me. I'll do it the way I've always done it. Right down the toilet. Down the drain with you. 1 to 2 to 4 to 8 to 16. Getting more calloused up just like an old wineskin. Wrong way. Don't rely on this tangible, natural stuff, this thinking of your carnal mind, your non-spiritual. Don't go the non-spiritual way. Come back to God. Go God's spiritual way, His righteousness. Okay? Now, continuity. Let me, I got a definition of this ability, okay? Hang on. Just a minute. It's old stuff trying to choke me out. Okay, this ability to have, to hold, the possession, and the ability. Okay, the ability is the competence in an activity or occupation because of one's skill, training, or other qualifications. You're qualifying with God. You can say, here, hold my beer while I walk across this. God parts the Red Sea of your mind. That red Adamic thinking of all this stuff. And you walk. live, exist, where there seemed to not be a path, a way of thinking. It just happens. Or like this wall in front of me. Man, that's a wall. Here, hold my beer. Walk right up that wall. Whoa! The other ones can't see nothing. They're in darkness, ignorance of it. What? What are you talking about? I don't see nothing. All I can see is this visible light spectrum. It's really GB in the natural. It's 300 nanometers all over a 2,000 mile stretch. And you're not even back to the Father yet. Back into those cosmic rays. It's kind of a dumb ass nature. Donkey nature, right? Because you're in the beast nature. And you don't even realize it. So when God gives you these opportunities, yes sir, Daddy, amen, I agree, so be it. And optimize it, recognize it with your seeing, hearing, taste, touch, and smell. Man, there's a big old log in my eye, and it's you. You're thinking, it's my own ego. It's trying to edge God out. Get out. Vomit that stuff out. And let the rightful king make God true. And all that humanistic thinking, all that mankind thinking, a liar. Right? Romans 3:4 saying that. You gotta dig a little bit. To understand it. Not just parakeet that stuff and twist it to your own destruction. Your carnal mind will do that for you. Huh? Alright, now. So this ability is competence in activity or occupation of one's skill. It's a love of God. Come back to the higher, superior way of God's love. The training through all these storms of life, God is increasing it little by little by little. He's training you up. He's building this relationship with you so you can love Him more and more and more, increasingly in a greater respect in your thinking process, in this one little ball of your thinking process. A little bit more, a little bit more, a little bit more. Taking out the old and the new, coming into revelation, the apocalypsis. Not some end time prophetic blah, blah, blah. No, it's the revealing, the disclosure of the truth before known. So it's not just the faith in it, it's coming back to the truthfulness of God. What is that truthfulness? God is love. God is that enlightenment. If God be for you, who can be against you? And all this stuff is working together for good to them that love God. If you agree, green light, it's good. It's God. It's to your advantage. Be reasonable and say my way, my child. Huh? Okay. Now, so it's competence in the activity of occupation because of one's skill, training in an activity or occupation. The occupation is you come back into the love. Come back in and this way, and where you're resting and relying on God's love. Not just tiptoe to the tulips and appease everybody and appease myself and here's a big lollipop. No. Then the tough stuff, you're able to handle it because of the love of God. Not my strength, my power. God is your rock. You're in the world, but you're not of the world. That other stuff gotta go. Gotta hit the road, Jacob. Right? Now, you're doing this because of because of one's skill, training, or other qualifications. You're being qualified by God to get the increase. That's simple. God's giving the increase, not you. You gotta line up with God's will, not line God up with your will. Well, if I pray hard enough, I'll beg, and then it better be exactly what I said, what I thought. Or God didn't answer me. I had a petition out. I had a whole bunch of people pray with me, and we demand. Not my will be done, but your will be done, Father. Wasn't that what Jesus said in the garden? Right before he was going to the cross, that stake at Staros, that pointed stake, that pole, not two-member beam. Man, this is a capital punishment. They're going to kill him in the most brutal way that they could. And who knew it? Father, let this cup pass from me, but nevertheless, not my will be done, but your will. Okay? Now, I got a note here. It says, the relationship builder of God, one obtains the competence to have to love. In the relationship builder of God, one obtains the competence to love at increasingly higher or superior ways. God's love. Okay? As one greenlights God and God gives the increase. Okay, I didn't say that pretty much, but just restate it. Okay? One is being trained by God in the skill of Racham. That's loving God as he first loved us, as his child. That's the incompleted love that God loves us beyond the mere description of love, okay? Of words. Okay? Like it's love God with everything you got, basically. And love your neighbor, your fellow human beings as yourself. God's training you and giving you so that you're existing in this love. You're gaining the ability, right? This competence in this activity. Being obedient to God. Yes, sir, Daddy God. I'm coming on up. Boom, ba, ba. Back into God. To that deluxe right-mindedness in God. His ways are superior to mine. To my righteousness. That's yuck. I'm finally getting peace of mind. That's the satisfaction. Guaranteed. Not this old stinking thing. It's temporary and transitory at best. It's a liar. The truth's not in it. Acknowledge that. No matter what it looks like. No matter what kind of lion's den you're facing. No matter what kind of fiery trial, the furnace, heat up 5 times as hot, no matter. Cancer, car wreck, anything. Coming out of a coma, can't move nothing. Seeing 4 of everything when I could see. Blah, 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 blah. Pain through the roof. Don't matter. Okay? Now, to have, this echo, to have to hold the possession, the ability, the continuity. Okay? Now, the continuity is a noun. In the noun, it's the unbroken or consistent existence or operation of something over a period of time. God's bringing those back at this love over a period of time. Not just a microwavable thing. I'll give you 30 seconds to do it, and that's all you get. Or just baptize me in water, and then I'm 100%. No. Or I'll just wait till the end of my life, then I'll 100%. What is this? The consistent existence or operation of something, this love of God, this righteousness of God, over a period of time. The continual exhibition or broadcasting from this grace this divine influence in your heart, in your mind, in this thought process of this ball, and its reflection out to your lifestyle. This broadcast, whether it's speaking, just your presence, whatever it is, your actions, or your actions as a tree, as humanity, broadcasting, reflecting out that you're just an old humanistic thinking, 666 in your forehead and in your hand. Or is it broadcasting, reflecting Christ, God, God's righteousness, this clothing, this garments, these wedding garments of God is being put on in my mind. I'm coming closer and closer and closer to that. Not saying, oh, I'll never mess up. No, you will. You do. I do. But get up quickly and go on. Don't stay there. Don't. No. Let's go on. All right. Now, in doing this, you're like that little kid in the classroom that God's teaching a whole bunch of kids, and God calls you up to the front of the class. Have you been looking out the window into your own carnality, your own non-spiritualness, and focusing and partaking of that crap? Or are you paying attention to God? Coming up here and God saying, now, work this problem. Give me a demonstration, you martyr. God's witness. Martyria. Right? God's witness. Alright? Die to yourself. This is how you do it. Here, hold my beer, and I'll walk up this wall. You're been an example. Whether you know it or not. Just like my wife doing stuff, and we talked about it. There should be people come up and say stuff to her. She's like, huh? I didn't even know they even knew nothing about that. They're encouraged because she has a rough time. She goes right to it. Tougher than nails. Dealing with the Parkinson's and lymphedema. Oh my goodness. They don't even see nothing much. Same thing. That's just one little thing. Alright. The plural noun of this, in a plural sense, a noun, and there's balls, a whole bunch of them, okay, come through. It's uninterrupted duration and continuation, especially without essential change. Okay, let me rewrite that. I wrote it real small and I kind of scribbled it in there, okay? Having a little trouble reading it, but trying to condense it in, okay? So in this continuity, and the balls and there's being strung out of your thinking, coming back through the mind of God, it's uninterrupted duration, continuation in the love of God, come greenlighting God, okay? Especially without essential change. You're not going back, and you're not staying down. If you get down, I messed up a little bit, get up quickly. Don't wallow around in it like an old sow, an old pig. Get all dirty again. After you're being cleaned up a little. Okay? Now, probably going to have to segment this. We're down to relation. Okay? And this echo. Let me try to put a line here. Okay? And I'll start here next. Okay? Wait a minute. No, I still got a little bit. We're doing a recording, video. Okay, so I can go on. Good. Then my segment, I have to leave a little bit extra just in case for startup and closing. Okay. All right. So relation in this echo, this to possess, to have, to hold. Okay. Speaking in your mind because that's where God's working. It's the way which two or more concepts, objects, or people are connected. That's the God and you. He's a relationship builder. He's bringing you back in and S-Y-N to God. Back to his superior way of thinking. Not taking his superior way of thinking down to your way because you think it's right and you're convincing God that he's wrong and he better change the way he thinks. Because I got 100 people praying about this. Are you kidding? No. You line up with God's right-mindedness. The prayer of a righteous man, the communications of a righteous man, the fervent prayer avails much. Because you're lining up with God's right-mindedness. Change the way you think about your old stupid yuck poop thinking. Whether it's good or bad, or I think y'all do this, God. Don't matter. If it's not lining up, if it's lining up with God, it's going to work. If it's not, change the way you think about that. Spit that junk out. Okay? Now, let's reread this. Yeah, I'm less than a minute here. The way which two or more concepts, objects, or people, that's a ball thinking, are connected. A thing's God's effect on the relevance to another. God's influence in there, not yours. Okay? We'll have to continue here next. I'm about to run out of time. Thank you. Have a great day. We'll continue next time on this. I'll continue a little later. Bye-bye.